How you doing? This is Chris with Chris's Comments. Show of common sense on common ground, no matter what the subject. Today's subject is the killing that took place yesterday in Minnesota. A cop killed a driver, African-American male, young in his mid-20s, I think, or early 20s. And this, in the same neighborhood as where Floyd passed away, where Floyd died. It's very unnerving. There's going to be a lot of talk right now about how, when the subject comes up, of course, about how he shouldn't have driven away. He shouldn't have tried to make an escape. If you got warrants, you're going to get arrested. You got to do the right thing. And, there's going to be other people that are going to say, the cop is, a hero. And then there's going to be the ones that say that, ACAB. This comment is just to say, killer cops is just as bad as cop killers. Okay. I don't really care, about BLM and any more than I care about Proud Boys. Those two parties have nothing to do with the simple fact that if you're a killer cop, killing a person, attacking, or maybe not even killing, just attacking, like those two military guys that were on their way to the base to turn in for, before curfew, got forced to pull over, got pepper spray and beaten up or attacked. That's just as bad as somebody, knocking out a cop, stealing his gun. And as far as this person, as far as it goes with yesterday, the guy dying, regardless of speaking of he shouldn't have ran away and all this other stuff, that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. This guy got pulled over, according to him, when he called his mother. He got pulled over for hanging an ornament off of his mirror. Air freshener, I think it was. And it was probably in the shape of a marijuana plant or something. That's really the only reason why I think a cop would want to pull somebody over. It's because of the marijuana plant hanging. But it's an air freshener. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as having drugs. This whole business, he shouldn't have taken away. Yeah, the cop shouldn't have pulled over a guy for an air freshener. Plain and simple. And it still doesn't ignore the fact that a killer cop is just as bad, if not worse, than a cop killer. Why? Because he's a badge. Because he's wearing a badge. We're trusting them. What's the point in trusting in the law and letting them serve and protect us if they're going to be the threat? It only makes sense. It's a very reasonable question. What's the point in trusting them to serve and protect us if they're the ones that are going to be the threat? You might as well just have everybody defend their own territory any which way that they want. Which, unfortunately, it sounds like it's actually heading in that direction. What I mean is Rent-A-Cops is going to stop being an actual law enforcer that went through training, gun handling, defense, apprehensions, all that training, and it just resort to a militia-styled backup, way beyond Rent-A-Cop. And a Rent-A-Cop will at least have training. A freelance Rent-A-Cop, an unregulated Rent-A-Cop, that being a very big concern here in Texas, will be, militia. And technically, California is already going through something like that. A biker group called Los Bandidos is already infiltrated into a California city, and I can't remember which one. But they get their own people and they initiate them by driving them around in neighborhoods and killing somebody. And that's how they wind up getting accepted into the police. You know, as far as this goes, as long as we're looking at that particular angle through this subject of killer cops, has anybody decided to check? Has anybody decided to check to see if the guys in Minnesota who are killing black men, whether they jump back in the car or not, as to whether or not the cop belongs to a group, a hate group, or a clique? Because Bandidos is a pretty dangerous hate group. It's a biker gang, to be more specific. But to generalize it, hate group. So who did this cop belong to? I don't know. Maybe he's just somebody that fell under some rhetoric, brainwashing BS, and felt the need to kill. Who knows? Which is the question. But that's pretty much the thing right there. Whatever the case, whatever the cop is doing, the reasons why he's doing it, whatever the reason why the cops all over the nation are killing and attacking and just plain inflicting harm to people. It's bad, and it's bad. It's bad. A cop inflicting pain to people is bad as, say, a street guy or a gangster inflicting pain on people. The cop roughing up those military men is no differently than, a street gang ganging on them and roughing up the military man, jacking him up. And a killer cop is just as bad as a cop killer. What's the point in having law enforcement? Trusting them to serve and protect if they're the ones that are the threat? It's a very reasonable question. And it's one that I hope gets to get answered very soon, and that this ordeal gets straightened out. I normally have a lot of stuff that I've looked up and stuff to review, but in this case, there's really not much to review. There's some bad stuff going on, and it needs to be stopped, particularly by the ones that are putting a badge on their chest and being set free to run around to do whatever. Killer cop is just as bad as a cop killer. Plain and simple. That's all that's being said on this comment show. Again, I don't have a podcast. I'm not going to be putting up any merchandise for you to buy. This is just a comment from a lowly little guy in San Antonio, Texas, because there's very little people out here that's actually doing this. That's mostly up in the East Coast, West Coast area, time zones. So that's pretty much it right there. What we, ordinary people, are seeing and the conclusion that we're drawing to. Y'all take it easy. Have a good one. Stay safe out there. I'm going to be getting my COVID shot, the Johnson & Johnson one today. I'll give a review of that, let you know how it goes. See how it goes, see if I'm going to be twitching a little or whatever. Y'all take it easy. This is Chris with Chris's Comments, signing out.